on. So I thought I'd pop on here and talk to you all, see how you all are doing, and talk to y'all, chat to y'all. Let's see who shows up. Um, so I thought as a special for All Hallows Eve, and or I've been seeing a lot of talk on the internet of this other holiday called Samhain. So, I mean, all of it is really the same thing. I don't know if you guys know this, but Halloween is not really Halloween. I mean, in Mexican tradition, they celebrate Dia de los Muertos. And here in America, it was I think it was a Catholic holiday where they celebrated the dead. So, but yeah, been hearing a lot about Samhain or whatever, which is like a witch's holiday. So anyway, hey guys, I'm just popping on here to chat with you all and not do tarot, but oracle readings. So if anybody out there wants to share their story with me, tell me what your story is, and I will pull one oracle card for you. Just to celebrate whatever, if you celebrate, if you don't celebrate, that's cool with me too. I love Dia de los Muertos. That is probably the closest. And actually, I don't even know what day they celebrate Dia de los Muertos. I don't think it's the 31st. But how y'all doing? What are y'all getting into? I have decided to stay home today, not do anything Halloweeny, because I'm kind of feeling low energy. Hi in the chat. Hello. Your story? Oh, whatever you want to share, guys. Whatever is on your heart. Whatever is on your mind. Yeah, no, I'm not going to bring back the free tarot readings, but I can pull an oracle card for you. Why not? Yes. What's on your heart? What's on your mind? What's going on with you out there in the world? Haven't seen you guys in a while. What's going on? What's good in the hood? We have base chakras coming out. Choose only positive thoughts to describe your home. This is very law of attraction-y, right? It says your words determine your outcome. How many of you guys believe that your thoughts and your words determine your outcome? Because I believe that fully. Life is lifing, bills don't stop. I hear what you're saying, but once again, choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. So if you're feeling maybe tired, worn out, or like, it just doesn't stop, try and inject that with some gratitude. I don't know why it's so hard. Yeah, it's really hard to do that, isn't it? And I'm feeling very tired. I'm feeling very much like intuitive reads with Jen. Bills don't stop, but it doesn't have to be that way. So yeah, we can inject it with not toxic positivity, more of like a reframe, more of like I'm going to say, I have a roof over my head, I have water, I have food, and I don't want to get political, but there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world in other countries. So we have water, we have air, we have food, we have shelter. Blessed. Totally blessed. But it's hard, isn't it? I don't know. For some reason, it's really, really hard to get out of this mindset of lack of, because I think that we're very rooted in 2025 in social media. And on the social media, you see what you see. You see the celebrities and everything. And hey guys, we see celebrities and we compare ourselves. And I think that's probably why it's really hard to have a positive mindset, because we think I could be doing so much better. I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. But I'm, trying to stay positive, trying to say I have a roof over my head, I have family. Boss says, read my personality. Wow, that's really hard to do. I am very much an energy reader, but that's not something I can do over chat. I would have to see you. I'd have to see you. I'd have to get your aura about you. And the thing is that I am really good at reading the energy. Am I good? I'm good. I'm just tired. So, but that's not something I can do in the chat. But yeah. Who out there wants an oracle? Hey guys, YouTube will restrict any weird messages. So Intuitive says clarify your root chakra. How do you mean? I can't read your energy in the chat, boss. You know what? I will read your energy. You're calling yourself boss and you're demanding. You are a demanding person, boss, because you're kind of being pushy. That's the read I'm getting off of you. You seem like the kind of person who is who comes off as very imposing and very persistent, and you come off like either a earth sign or a fire sign. So that's your energy read. Imposing, demanding, could potentially be the type of person who likes to be in charge. How did I do? Does that sound right at all? That was the oracle. Oh, you're right. Yes, I did. The first card I pulled was the base chakra. I don't know where I put that card. What do you mean by clarify it? Let's see. I don't know where I put it now. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so boss, tell me. Tell me, did I get it right? I don't like it when people are pushy. It annoys me. It makes me be mean. I can't find that card to save my life. Let's see but I can read from the book for you. We're going to read base chakra. Boss says yes and no. I can only read somebody's energy from the chat so hard. Aura farming, that sounds nuts. I don't know if I like that. Thank you. Buy my hair. Thank you. Let's see. Base chakra. I'll have to like sit in here and read. You guys don't want to hear me read, do you? Who wants an oracle card? Throat chakra, clear your throat chakra. Sacral chakra. I'd love you to do me. Okay. Okay. All right. Intuitive reads with Jen. I will. I'm only doing one card, but that technically wasn't a card for you. So let's see. I can't even find that card. All right. Intuitive reads with Jen. Well, I'll pull one card for you. I had one card fall out already. There was a card coming out, but I'm not going to read that one. It doesn't seem relevant. Whoa. Okay, so we have healing away addictions. So this doesn't have to be about healing away addictions. It says it's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So this is just about healing. It doesn't have to be about addictions. I feel like what that's saying is it could be, because the first card was base chakra, I feel like what could be addicting or unhealthy, sometimes we become addicted to pain. Sometimes we become addicted to sadness, or kind of like stuck in this energy of negativity. That's what it says. So, but it could just be like healing the mind and healing your heart. I also feel like, because it's saying heart's desire, sometimes what happens is that we get stuck in this phase of wanting more than we have, wanting more, wanting more. So I don't know if that's specific to you, but just in general, to and I'm gonna go back to what I said before, is to instead of being in this energy of desiring more, being the energy of gratitude, because I feel like we all need to deal with that. But yeah, it's healing, mostly healing. That is so me. That is so me. What do you eat for dinner? I don't know what you ate for dinner. I had pasta. Yeah, so actually everybody, if you're in America right now, you probably will relate to the hustle culture mentality because we're constantly told to do something to better ourselves. And like you can get lip injections, you can get your nails done, you can buy different clothing, you can get up really early and do a morning routine, and there's 5 products that you need to buy, and you need, you know, money manifestation, go go go, more more more, consume consume. So, and that's kind of what I'm getting with this Heal Away Addictions. It's not necessarily about what am I addicted to. It's about consumption in general. And when I say consumption, I'm talking about the things that we watch, um, the things that we eat, the things that we buy, all that. Is it true? I wow. You guys are crazy. Okay, anybody else want an oracle card? Yeah, so I don't know. I think this is about healing our mind, healing our heart and mind, and trying to be in balance with things that are more important, things that are good for us. And instead of, because I feel like everybody's addicted to something. Like we're all addicted to our cell phones. And there's also a huge addiction to caffeine. Me specifically, I'm definitely addicted to my phone and to caffeine. Maybe not everyone can relate to that, but I think a lot of people can. A lot of people can relate to that. I don't know. How are you guys doing? Who wants to share what's on their heart and minds right now? How many of you guys are dressed up? I didn't dress up. I had my wings on earlier when I did the Sagittarius reading, but I'm not wearing them now because I feel worn out. Yeah, I'm worn out from having to constantly do stuff. Because to be human, you have to wake up and you have to feed yourself and you have to brush your teeth, and it's just always stuff that you have to do, even if you don't have to go to a job. Boss says, do me a card. Okay, let's pull from this deck. Oh, this is abundance for you. Boss, you got abundance. But and this is solar plexus chakra, so that's your gut. And the thing about this card is that it's not necessarily predicting that you're going to make money. It's this man here, he made some money and he lost it down this well and he gave up on it. But this little lady, this little girl, she came along and she was able to get the money out. So this is saying something about not giving up, and it kind of goes back to that, like having a positive mindset, because if he didn't stress out and give up, he could have had a clear mind and constructed a way to get his money out. That happened to me one time, not with money, but with my keys. One time I was hanging out with my friends and we were outside somewhere, I don't remember, and I had my car keys and I dropped my car keys down, and I don't remember if it was like between some rocks or something. And what I did was I found some wire and I stuck the wire down in between the cracks of the rocks and I got my keys out. So this is, once again, like, abundance can come and abundance can go so easily depending on how you care for it and how you treat for it, you know, but also to not just give up. And because when you're in this mentality of stress, that can override your system and make it difficult for you to figure things out, think clearly. You have a lot of adversity. Yeah, well, this guy here, he has a lot of adversity, but this kid here has a lot of innocence and was able to clearly think about how to get their money back. That's fun. That's a fun one. Are you guys dressed up? Are you guys going trick-or-treating? What y'all doing out there? Yeah, no, I just am chilling, and I just thought I'd come on here and talk to you guys. Yeah. I keep getting this card. This twin flame card keeps coming out. You know what's funny? Is that like I don't believe in twin flames. That's why I think it's perfect that this card comes out. You guys can believe in twin flames all you want. I won't judge you hard for it. But I think that YouTubers use the word twin flame to get you to watch their videos. That's what I think. I'm not doing free tarot. I don't do free tarot anymore. But your electric lawyer, feel free to set up a paid reading. So this says, the answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationships. You know, I think it's dangerous to put that much power and influence on a human being. So that's why I don't really like twin flames, because first of all, it's not based in science. There's no science to prove that we have a person who were meant to be separated from and come back together. I feel like that's magical, delusional thinking, and I feel like it's dangerous to think that way. So that's why I don't really like this card, because I don't believe in it. Do you guys believe in twin flames? You know, because I feel like if somebody is not in our life, if we're separated from someone, I don't think that we should be focusing on them. I know that's what we do like a lot in tarot when we come on here. We focus on someone we're in separation with. And the more that we focus on them, the more we push them away. That's the way law of attraction works. That's why like believing that someone is your twin flame can really be dangerous. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't believe it. Happy Halloween. But yeah, you can believe in twin flames if you want. I'm more of an intellectual, science-based individual. I don't even think that like the idea of soulmates I don't think it's very important. You know what I mean? I think the only important thing is if someone shows up for you, if they treat you right, it doesn't matter what you call them. G. Summy says, I totally agree. I am from the United States. Yeah, so I don't know when we stopped calling people like when we basically we're just using twin flames instead of soulmates to make things seem more special than they are, because you guys have been in a romantic relationship before, right? Like there's nothing magical about it. The magic is all dopamine, and I always forget there's another drug that's released, a chemical that's released in your brain when you have romantic feelings for someone. So it's not really magic. It's not really spiritual. It's just chemicals being released in your brain. And when you get involved in a relationship with someone for long enough, you start seeing their flaws, and honestly, it's not magical. It's hard work. Love is a choice. And it's like, yeah, is this person really my twin flame? Are they really this magical unicorn? They're in the bathroom picking their nose. They're in the bathroom clipping their toenails. You know, they're pooping. Everybody poops. And I know that that's not cute or romantic, but it's realistic. Electric Lawyer, I don't do readings on here anymore. I can pull an oracle card for you. That's all I can do for you. But yeah, so I think it's dangerous to call someone a twin flame or even a soulmate. If you feel like somebody is really important to you and they treat you well, we don't have to put all these labels on them. Especially if the person in question doesn't even want to talk to you, then that to me is delusional, magical thinking. And one word I like to use is limerence. I know that there's a lot of YouTube videos on limerence, and it's basically when you romanticize someone so much that you kind of it's almost like you're having a daydream in your head about what happened between the two of you, and it's more idealized. That's not really what happened. That person isn't some knight in shining armor. They're just a human being, and they have flaws. So the less that we put people on pedestals, the more healthy it is for us in relationships. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah. So that's how I feel about twin flames. So I see it because like this card comes out a lot, but and I don't really believe that relationships are spiritual. I mean, it's okay if you think that. That's fine. I have my own beliefs, but I do think people can be I do believe people can have they can imprint on us. They can change our lives for the good and for the bad. Yeah. G Sami agrees with me. People can be good for you, people can be bad for you, and they can, they can be special to you. And it's really only important, to think this way about someone if they treat you right. If they're not treating you right, it really doesn't matter. Because I feel like a lot of these tarot readers on here are using twin flames as clickbait, and they try and sell you on this idea that you're in separation from your special person, and it keeps you in this delusional mind space thinking they're going to come back and change, and this is how it's meant to be, and DM, DF, and all that stuff. You guys, it's total BS. I hope that you guys are smarter than that. If someone doesn't want to be with you, end of story. They are not special. Maybe at one point in time there was some chemistry between the two of you, but it's not good to hold on to that idea if someone's going to come back for you. And, no, don't worry about that. One love. And you know what? We don't have one special person. We meet, if we're lucky, we meet a lot of people throughout our lives, and they have different impacts on us, and it can change the course of our lives. That's why it's important to put out this aura of ourselves that we're not going to settle for, anything less than we deserve. So, because there's a lot of people who come and go in our lives, and not all of them are meant to stay. That doesn't mean that they didn't have a special meaning to you. That doesn't mean that, you weren't special to one another, and that your life isn't any different. Maybe, maybe your life is now different because you met that person and they impacted on you. And it's true. So relationships are important. So anyway, you are what you are. Very true. I am what I am. We are what we are. We're all humans on a rock in space. Or maybe, you might not believe that you're an alien, but we're all aliens. Maybe you believe you're a starseed. There's that whole conversation. Yeah, I'm a spirit. You're a spirit. We're all spirits. There are some people out there who think that souls are not a real thing. And I don't know. At this point in time, anything's possible. Anything's possible. We know aliens are real. And in fact, if you go to like Mars or Jupiter or Saturn, we're aliens to organisms on other planets. Humans are aliens, if you think about it that way. Hi, guys. Hi. Yeah, no, somebody here is a hater. Hey, Nasby. Hey, Nasby. You guys wouldn't believe, I guess you would believe. You've been in enough chat rooms to see how crazy people are. Hello from Scotland. Hi. How are you? I would love to go to Scotland. I would love to go to Scotland. Man, the castles there are amazing. Shoot. If I was ever to go to a castle in Scotland, I maybe would start believing in a different kind of magic. It's good. Good morning. Is it morning where you are? What's good? So I've been to Europe, but I've never been to Scotland. I've been to London, and I've been to France. I've been to Italy, and I've been to Spain, and I've been to Mexico. But that's it. And I would love to go to all the places in the world. So, you guys, we have a full moon coming up on the 5th in Taurus. How many of you guys have any Taurus placements? Yeah, we have a Taurus full moon coming up November 5th. Hi. Oh my God, I was just talking about how I was in Europe and I want to go back. Hi from the UK. Hello. Ireland is magical. I'll bet it is. But yeah, so we are in the pre-shadow Mercury retrograde, you guys. So how many of you guys have heard from your exes or friend from a long time ago? I haven't heard from I haven't heard from anyone yet. And in fact, the last few retrogrades, I haven't heard from anyone. So I don't know. Maybe we're overdoing that. You've seen London and France? That is so cool. Bowser Records. Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't like that. That's not funny. You're childish. Okay. Let's see. So anyways, we have a full moon coming up and we have a Mercury retrograde coming up. And so it says here, work with Archangel Michael to let go of what no longer serves you. So I feel like we say that a lot. That's because every full moon we're supposed to be purging things out. I don't really know if I experience that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure if I experience endings on every full moon. I think that's overdone. No, but I do think that there are always things that we can release, like we can release wanting our ex back. We can release old clothing. We can release negative thoughts. We can release stress and anxiety. We can let go of thoughts that don't serve us. So that's like the only thing that I really experience on a recurring pattern during the full moon. I don't know. What about the rest of you guys? Are you releasing anything during this full moon? And yeah, this is the other thing about astrology because I love astrology. Oh, thank you, G Sami. I appreciate that. This is the other thing about astrology is that it's all based on degrees. So if you go to India, they don't practice the same type of astrology as we do here in the States. I don't know if you guys know that, but yeah, and also they don't practice the same type of astrology in all of India. There's like Northern Vedic astrology, Southern Vedic astrology, Southern Indian Vedic astrology, or something like that. So, and all of it's like a matter of degrees. It's math. So that's why I take astrology with a grain of salt. And I have seen some people argue with me about their natal chart. And you're from India, and you guys, do you do Vedic astrology there? That's what I hear, that we do Vedic astrology in India. And here in America, we do tropical astrology. But yeah, I've gotten into so many arguments with people about their natal chart, you know, being like, oh, in Vedic astrology, you're actually a Scorpio. And I literally, my old coworker was so mad when I said that because she did not like Scorpios. And we're in Scorpio season right now. I think it's really small-minded to think to not like one particular zodiac sign because not everybody is the same with that sign, and we all have a bunch of different signs. Every person has all 12 signs in their zodiac chart. America is a weird place. I have not done a course on astrology. I've watched some videos. I know a little bit about it, but not a lot. Gee, Sumney, you're a Gemini. Well, see, this is the thing. I have Gemini rising in my Vedic astrology chart. And in my tropical astrology chart, my ascendant, my rising is Cancer. So that's why when it comes to astrology, I just kind of use it for fun. I don't take it too serious because it's there's too many different types of astrology for me to be like, oh yeah, 100%. No, no. Everywhere you go, they study different types of astrology, and your chart looks different depending on the type of astrology. You have 5 Scorpio placements. Wow. Well, happy birthday because we're in Scorpio season. Oh, yeah, you know what? There's so many astrology courses everywhere, but there are different types of astrology. And Vedic astrology, that's based on, they have nakshatras, they call them. And their nakshatras are lunar mansions, and it's actually a lot more complicated. And it even looks different. Like Vedic astrology charts are square. They're either like square or like this weird rectangular. And tropical astrology is a circle, your natal chart. They even look different. So I personally, from a novice perspective, think that tropical astrology is easier to learn. It's not that it's better, it's just that it's easier to learn. So yeah, no, I'm kind of feeling tired. I'm really tired. I'm not gonna lie, but it's too early to go to bed, so that's why I thought I'd come on here. I'll get another oracle card for you guys. The last one we had was abundance, which is interesting. Ooh, Earth Angel. You are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. I I definitely feel like I'm an Earth Angel. I mean, if you've watched me before, you know that I wear wings sometimes. I've got my little like fairy shirt that I got in Los Angeles. No idea what you're saying. So yeah, I feel like this is so real. This Earth Angel. Hey guys. A lot of you guys who watch tarot are also Earth Angels, and that's like I know that sounds like a spiritual hokey pokey thing, but what it really means is that you have a pure heart. You know, like you have a pure heart, you're good, you don't have bad intentions with people. I definitely think that I've come a long way in my life. I think when I was younger, I was really in a lot of pain, and uh yeah, I had to transmute all that suffering and all that pain because I did a lot of not like terrible things because I had a really chaotic upbringing. But you know, it's like a villain to hero story. I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm a hero. I think that's a subjective term. If anything, the only person I saved is myself because the way that I was living was very destructive. Oh, thanks guys. But yeah, light worker to teach about love. I definitely talk a lot about Buddhism, and they, you know, in Buddhism, their whole philosophy is to alleviate all suffering and to conduct yourself with love. And it's really hard to do for yourself. That's the hardest lesson that I've had to learn in life, is how to not project your pain and suffering onto other people. And if you don't know what it means to project, you can Google it because I don't know how to explain it. So, but I definitely, when I came on here, I wanted to uplift the collective. And now more than ever, we need more love. I even have a painting up there that talks about love. Legit, it says more love. Because I think the world needs more love. Yeah, I don't know. So transmuting pain is really important. But I found out some weird things with the Buddhist community. So, like any other organization, there are some good things and some bad things about Buddhism. So, and it's not, meditation isn't for everyone. There are studies done on people who go to retreats, and sitting for long periods of time without being able to talk can actually have some really negative damages on your cognition. And you can look it up. It's really crazy. Some people have mental breakdowns from meditating too much. So all I'm trying to say here is that everything in moderation. So it's not that I had a personally bad experience. Um, I've met some practitioners who are really arrogant, and I think that there's a lot of arrogance in the Buddhist community, and I feel like it can be very culty at times in that community. And it can also be very based in capitalism. So it's good to meditate. It's good to want to alleviate suffering. It's good to have positive intentions, but it's not good to do it too much. That's all. I don't know. I mean, oh, yeah, I've been on here all the time, Steve. I'm on here almost every day, actually. I did take a small break because I stopped doing the free readings because people were really acting entitled to my energy, and I didn't like that. So now I don't do that anymore. But oh, well, thanks for that information. I did not need that information. We definitely need more love and laughter. That is so weird. You guys, although I did talk about people do number twos, that we can bring them off their pedestal. Don't talk about that in my chat. You're being weird. Yeah. Let me show you that painting. Hold on, you guys. So it's gonna be backwards, but I'm not even sure that you can read it. This lighting's not very good. It says more love. Now you can't really see it in this lighting, but it says more love, and legit. That's why when I saw this card, Earth Angel, and it says, you're here to teach about love. I'm the only one. I'm not the only one, to tell people to have more love in their hearts. But I have a hard time with it because it's not easy. Yeah, I love art. Thanks, Steve. I've been on here every day. I just don't do the free readings anymore. Yeah. So, plus the thing is that when it comes to tarot, you guys, it's not good. It's not good to rely on tarot too much because tarot is only meant to be a guide. It doesn't have all the answers. The truth is that you have more answers than the tarot cards have. So it's not good to rely on tarot too much. But yeah, I love to talk about being a light worker. What does that mean? And to teach people how to be less reactive, I guess. That's one thing that I had to learn. And I've done a lot of soul searching. I've done a lot of introspective work on myself. And because I used to be, oh, thanks. Yeah, I used to party a lot. I used to get into trouble and, drinking, drugging. I did everything, you name it. I did all the sins. I did all that, and I got it out of my system because honestly it's boring and it's not good for you, and it's not good for other people to destroy yourself the way that I was totally destroying myself. So, yeah. And all of that stemmed from a lack of self-love, which is probably one of the hardest things that I've had to overcome because we all make mistakes in our life, and it's not easy to live with that. It's not easy to be happy with yourself when you don't live up to other people's expectations. And I think that's why we have a lot of hate in the world, because there are a lot of societal standards for how people are supposed to look, how they're supposed to act, how they're supposed to dress, and that can create some internal conflict for everyone. So yeah, and I think that's the biggest lesson from Buddhism, because they're going to tell you the same thing that they do in all other religions, which is to not be jealous, not be envious of what other people have. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. And I even had to do this Kabbalah string for myself. Do you guys know what a Kabbalah string is? This is it's basically the same thing as evil eye. I did this for myself a few days ago, and I had my mother tie it on here for me, because I had to remind myself not to be jealous. That's all evil eye is, you guys. So, and I think a lot of people get it wrong. First of all, you don't need to go buy some amulet. You don't need to spend money and buy an amulet. The Kabbalah string is made out of wool, and you read a prayer, you tie a string. You don't even really need to do that, because all the string is to remind you to not be jealous of what other people has. Because when you're jealous of what other people have, that's what creates the quote unquote evil eye. So it's a reminder to have more love, and it's a reminder to have more compassion for other people and compassion for yourself. Like, you know what? So and so has a bigger house, they have a husband, they have more money, they're better looking than me. Good on them. I am not going to sit here and wish that they lost all that because I'm jealous. That's what creates the evil eye, you guys. The evil eye isn't really real. It's just somebody who doesn't like themselves, who doesn't appreciate what they have, who sits there and creates resentments in their own heart because they compare themselves to someone else. And Buddhism will teach you that. Catholicism will teach you that. Every religion ever will teach you to not have envy, to not covet thy neighbor. You say, Saggy, you're right. Oh yeah, did you watch the Saggy? Thanks, guys, appreciate it. So yeah, I had to do this for myself, because sometimes I catch myself being super jealous, because we all have that moment where we go on the internet and we see pictures, or we go out in the world and we see whatever the case may be. We go to Thanksgiving to someone's house, they have a house, and I'm sleeping on someone's couch. That's just an example of how we all have envy. So, because it can be really hard to not be jealous or envious, it can be really hard to not have appreciation and gratitude when things are not going well in our lives. I don't really like to. I talk about Buddhism a lot, but I don't think that it matters about religion. I think everyone has to find their own. And honestly, religion is man-made, and religion's man-made. The Buddha was, I don't know if you guys know the story of the Buddha, but the Buddha came way before the Catholic Church, way before God, way before Jesus. We had Buddha. And before that, there was the cavemen, right? And there was the Aborigines and things like that. So We didn't always have language. Humans made up language. So I think that we have to remember that, you know, all these words, all these ideas, all these social constructs are man-made. Does that make sense to you guys? Because when you put it into perspective, like the word love isn't a real thing. We made that up. We made it up. Also, we made up the heart. We do not love people from our heart. Our heart simply pumps blood to our brain. And we love people with our brain. Not before God. God has always been. See, this is what I mean. Believe what you want to believe, because at the end of the day, it's all a matter of your perception, right? So that's why I say that you can't preach about religion, because everybody has to find their own, or maybe they're a nihilist and they don't believe in it. Maybe they're a scientist and they believe that the cosmos created humanity, like the Big Bang Theory or Darwinism. So everybody has to have their own beliefs, and that's why we shouldn't fight about it. We should be able to allow people to believe what they believe, because it's not going to change what you believe. Somebody else believes one thing, it's not going to change the reality at all. It doesn't hurt anyone, as long as it's not hurting anyone. And yeah, I sometimes question if the soul's a real thing. I think about that all the time. You know what I mean? Because I definitely think about, ectoplasm. How many of you guys know what ectoplasm is? The ectoplasm is the theory, the science that explains what happens to us after our bodies decompose. And basically, ghosts are ectoplasm. That's what the theory is about ectoplasm. So, and I question, is the soul real? When our bodies, I know this sounds really dark, but we are on All Hallows Eve, Halloween. That's, when we're supposed to remember our ancestors. And so I question all the time if souls really do still exist after their bodies decompose. Are they still there? Or is that all made up? Mike says the soul is real. All of those theories can be proven false. Oh, really? You think so? Because there are a lot of ghost hunters out there. If you guys know what ghost hunters are, and they go into the haunted house and they have these, what do they call them, Geiger counters? I don't know what the machines are, but they have machines that study the electromagnetic fields that ghosts or paranormal activity that goes on. You think it's fake? Oh, you think paranormal activity is fake? I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I think with tarot, we can pull cards. For example, I could go get a tarot deck right now, and I could be like, let's talk to David Bowie and let's see what David Bowie would say. And I can throw together a story, or, Kurt Cobain. I could throw together a story about what they would say if they were alive. But there's nothing to really prove that that is real. So I wonder if the soul does exist after we go. Wow, this is crazy. I don't know if I like this. So somebody here in the comment says that they died and that they came back. Why are you? Well, and I don't know. I honestly, science can do that. Doctors can do that. You can't. I have heard story of near-death experiences are real. And what happens is that your heart stops beating. And this happened to my aunt's dog. Her dog had a heart attack, and during when it was having dental work done. And what happened was her dog was sent to Tijuana to get some dental work done. And while he was under the anesthesia, because he was so old, he had a heart attack and like basically flatlined or died. And they brought him back to life. And then he ultimately died again, under surgery because it was too much anesthesia for his old little heart. G. Summy says, we are on a plane. When we die, we move on. You were gone for 6 minutes? Wow. That's crazy. I think that that happens all the time. And your brain can only be deprived of oxygen for a certain amount of time. And after a certain amount of time, you experience brain damage. So even if they were to make your heart start beating again, and so that you had vitals, your brain may or may not be functioning. Because like I said before, you guys, when we experience what we call love, we don't experience that from our heart. We experience that from our brain. If there is a soul, you guys, it's in the brain. Everything is mind power. Everything is brain power. So I think that we don't give enough credit to our brain and to our mind. And if you were to go to a psychic, they are using their mind, because the word psychic comes from the word psyche, which is your mind, your thoughts, your brain. And if you have ESP, telepathy, clairvoyance, clairsentient, all of that's done through your mind, all of it. So if there is a soul, it's in your brain, and it can't be deprived of oxygen for too long. So that's just my 2 cents. You definitely agree with Atina. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. So yeah, that's a wild story. Well, you know what? I'm glad that you're back. I don't know if I like your username. Kind of creeps me out. But how many of you guys actually believe that there are demons and dark entities? I don't think that there are demons or dark entities. I think that every person on the planet has a dark side, and some people indulge in their dark side more than others. When I was younger, I used to indulge in my dark side a lot more because I was, I had a lot of hormones when I was younger and whatever. So I grew out of that, and now I'm able to control my behavior, control my thoughts and my mind. And I know now what I didn't know then when I was younger is that I'm a lot more capable than I thought I was. You guys believe in demons? Because I've been doing I've been watching a lot of videos and different content creators talking about different demons, and most of it's mythology. Like, for example, Lilith. If you guys know, Lilith apparently was a demon, and Lilith was around before Eve. There's a story of Adam and Eve. That's called maturity. Yes. Well, you're making my point even more. I'm saying that I don't think that there's demons. I think that there's humans who are immature, don't know how to handle themselves and act out. And that's all. So, but Lilith was a demon, and it was all mythology. So back in the day, they're saying there was no demon named Lilith, that it was just these creatures. But Lilith came before Eve. So it was Lilith and Adam, not Adam and Eve. And I don't know if you guys know the story of Lilith, but she supposedly ate babies because she defied her husband. And the story is all mythology. It wasn't a real demon. And also, it's based in misogyny, because Lilith was very rebellious. She didn't want to be subservient to her husband. And so she started eating babies or something like that. And that demons aren't real. I don't believe in them. That's my opinion. And then she wasn't a demon at first. Your eyes turn red? That's crazy. You guys are so gross in the comments sometimes. Yeah, so she wanted equality. Yeah, that's the thing, is women still don't have equality to this day. So, But yeah, I think that all of these demons that people talk about demons, it's just mythology. Like even if you go back and you read the Bible, Satan and Lucifer aren't even real. You guys are nuts in the comments. But yeah, so if you read the Bible, there's different perspectives on whether Lucifer and Satan and the devil are even real. I don't like, I don't know. I think all of it is mythology. I don't think any of it's true. And I think that the only people we need to be afraid of is humans. Humans who are immature or who are sad or don't know how to control their mind or their behavior. That's it. That's crazy. Well, I think maybe you should get some help if you can't be stopped. Should we get rid of him? Which one's Richard? Some people here, I don't know. You're in Greece? That's crazy. I would love to go to Greece. Which one's Richard? I don't know who you're talking about. No, well, yeah, I think people are the only thing that we need to be afraid of. Oh, well, I deleted him. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of trolls on YouTube. You guys got to be careful. I believe we are here for a reason. What the reason is beyond me. Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's fun to talk about it, though. I think I gotta remove you now because I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, listen, if you're gonna use demon as your username, I think that you're already asking for trouble. So I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I don't know, you guys. Coming on YouTube Live is fun, but you never know what kind of nefarious people are in the comments. To tell others, yeah, that's cool. I don't know. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just came on here to talk to you guys, and we could pull out oracle cards, but I feel like in your heart of hearts, you already know the answer. I say that all the time. You know, what I should teach people how to do is develop their psychic gifts, but I'm still working on that myself. And I remember talking to this one lady who I ended up not being able to work with her because she said some very troubling things to me, and I was really unsure about her character. But she had someone tell her to meditate to develop her psychic gifts, and it's true. Meditating for too long is actually really bad. It's really adverse for your health and for your body. But meditating for like, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes at the most can help you develop your psyche and your mind and your psychic abilities. Did I change my readings? I don't know. Yeah, well, it is Halloween, so there's always going to be a lot of weirdos. I don't know if I'm going to have to kick you out of my chat, but I have no problem doing that. Did I change my readings? I'm always changing my readings. I'm always trying to do different things. Yeah, I don't do the free questions anymore, so I know that my channel was growing really quickly, but I couldn't do the free readings anymore. I can't give out my energy like that anymore. You can go. You can just go. Oh my God. I don't know what that emoji is, but it's funny. Nobody wants to share their story? I could just pull every single card. We can just look at every single card in here, and that can be what we do for the rest of the hour. And I was just saying about how to develop your gifts, you guys. We can develop our psychic gifts any day. This says manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. This is very psychic-y. So, Emoj, chill out. Dude, are you serious? Relax. I don't know. So we have manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. I think, you know what? I think that we use the word manifestation too much. I think that the word manifestation really just means to make something happen. And I think that we give it too much credit. I think that we say that word too much, you guys. I will never buy like a manifestation course because I think that's a scam. I think, you know, a lot of people out here on YouTube are really, really creative at finding different ways of getting people's monies, getting their attention, and, you know, selling you a course and stuff like that. No, you don't need a course. You also don't need a course on tarot because there's so much free content on the internet. You can literally look up every single card. There's so many books. There's AI. You know, I wouldn't recommend using AI to read for you, but you can use it to like, or even just Google to tell you the card meaning. So, but I understand, you know, sometimes you just want someone's energy like that, or they have their own special interpretation. That's funny. I'm probably gonna get off of here, you guys. I kind of thought you guys were gonna be more telling me your stories and stuff like that, but we could just chat. That's fine too. Not with the trolls though. You know, there's too many trolls out here. Ooh, I really like this card, you guys. This one says insecurity. And there's a devil on it, and there's the heart. So, you know what? The thing is that, like, this is not, remember I was saying before, we all have dark and light within us. The only demons we need to be afraid of are humans who haven't controlled their scruple. Well, believe it or not, people who are insecure can be very problematic because the insecurities that people feel can cause people to do weird things. Like insecurity can cause someone to be a people pleaser, and insecurity can cause someone to ghost you. Insecurity can cause someone to be emotionally manipulative. Believe it or not, narcissists are very, very insecure. I'm not trying to excuse the behavior. I'm saying that if we are able to overcome our insecurities, we as humans can overcome a lot of unwanted behaviors just by working through insecurities. You know, if you're in a relationship with someone who's super insecure, you're going to kind of feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. That's funny. Gee, Sammy, what would you want to hear? Yeah, I don't know. I think there are a lot of powerful people in the world who have insecurities and it causes them to do bad things. I think it's as simple as that, you know? Like, but there's also the opposite who are people who are like overly confident because we have an ego. Everybody has an ego. People who are insecure have an underdeveloped ego. That's why they overcompensate, you know, if that makes sense to you guys. But somebody who has an underdeveloped ego or an overdeveloped ego can be just as problematic. That's when you get like arrogance, somebody who's like overly confident and like just doesn't care about what other people think. Because that's like, I don't know. I'm not a therapist or a doctor, but it's good to have an ego. It's not good to have an overinflated ego, and it's not good to compensate for insecurity by acting like you're that you're like your hot stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah, I definitely think that people are more aware of narcissists, but that's because we've built a world that's very self-focused. If you think about it, everybody in the world is very self-focused. I'm not saying everybody in the world is a narcissist. I'm saying that our society kind of teaches us to be self-focused. And I think that's like a power play, you know, because if we're only focused on ourselves and us doing looking the best, being the best, doing the best, having the best, then we're not going to be centered on community. And unity and community is what we need to get out of a narcissistic, you know, world order. Does that make sense? Confidence is different. The ego is bad. Actually, the ego is a good thing. It's good to have an ego. If you didn't have an ego, you probably wouldn't get out of bed. So it's good to have an ego. It's not good to have an over inflated sense of ego. We are in the world, not of this world. You know, the internet definitely is partially to blame for us being very self-focused, because if we're sitting on our, well, not even just the internet, but like our cell phones, internet on our phones, because it's separating us from community to be on our cell phones. And I saw this article on Instagram that was talking about why nightclubs are dead now. And I mean, they're not totally dead, but why nightclubs are being replaced with our cell phones. Like, why bother going out to all these nightclubs when you can just download an app, or you can just DM someone on Instagram? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think there is being self-focused and self-aware is different than being selfish, but I think that's a part of it. Hi. But yeah, so people, or at least in America, are very much focused on their money and their, you know, their cell phone, and looking at their phone, and, you know, not really connecting with people, not really connecting with the community at large, like putting your phone down and going out in the world. I know there's a lot of people who are going back to landlines and flip phones so that they don't doom scroll as much. I don't know what you're talking about here. I don't like it. I've been on for over an hour, you guys. I've just been talking about nothing on here. But yeah, I really like this card about, you know, this oracle card about insecurity. It's really cool. That's the root chakra. Let's see, insecurity. Oh, that's this one. We also have soulmate in here, which is really cool. This oracle deck is really cool. You guys should get it. I highly recommend everybody learning tarot, everybody getting oracle cards, and learning for themselves. This is saying, be courageous and face adversity, and finding power within. Yeah, you know, insecurity is really just fear. It's really just coming from a place of fear. That's all that is. Oh, yeah, kids will be, well, you know, the thing is that AI is taking over classrooms because of ChatGPT. I remember that I had met this fella who was in college, and he said that he just used ChatGPT. And I think even like the younger generation isn't learning to read because ChatGPT does all the reading for them. Oh, well, I think everybody can either come from a place of love or fear. And I think that it's not necessarily so simple as only love and fear. I think that there's other emotions in there. But most of it is based in love or fear. Do you guys remember Donnie Darko? And I remember that movie because Donnie Darko was talking, he was really upset because the teacher was saying that you're either coming from fear or you're coming from love, and every other emotion isn't important. So I kind of agree that we do have more emotions, but most of it can either be lumped into either fear or love. Most of it's fear or love. I'm not sure there really are, like, let's say, for example, I feel sad. That's another emotion, right? There, but I think sadness comes from fear. So most of it is fear or love, and everything else can be kind of lumped into that as well. So I don't know. It's interesting. Have you guys seen Donnie Darko? Do you like that movie? There was a sequel called, I think it was called like Samantha Darko or something like that, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like the Donnie Darko sequel. And the older I get, the less that I like the Halloween movies. I don't really like the Halloween movies anymore. There's some I like, but most of them I don't like. How many of you guys are gonna watch some Halloween movies? I watched that movie Weapons, and it was really creepy, you guys. It was about like witchcraft, and I saw an internet creator who talks about rituals and stuff like that, and he was saying that the rituals that they use in that movie are real, and I was like, oh my god, that's so creepy. Oh gosh. So yeah, I don't know. The older I get, the less I like horror films, the less I like thrillers and stuff and suspense. There's some that I can watch and that I like, but most of them I don't like. I am really excited for Practical Magic 2 because I think they're bringing back the original cast. Sandra Bullock. That should be a fun one. You don't agree, huh? Well, that's okay. You don't have to agree. I still need to talk about what? People don't talk enough. Yeah, no, I think that people don't talk about deep stuff. I think that they're very surface level with their communication. So, but it happens. All right, you guys, I'm going to get on out of here. It was fun to talk to you guys. I thought I was going to get more Oracle requests, but I know it's not as exciting as tarot, so yeah. But anyway, I'm going to get on out of here, and I'll probably see you on my next live, like maybe on Sunday, so keep an eye out. Subscribe, like, comment. I have so many videos on here. I have almost 1,000 videos. If you don't like one, you can watch another one. I even have a section called podcasts where I just talk about stuff and pull random cards. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you all. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Happy Halloween. Bye.